Through my last video I made on Thumbtack, which has been one of my most viewed videos of 2022, ironically, I was able to connect with an amazing photographer in Los Angeles. We did a shoot, which you can see some of the BTS on my YouTube shorts, but at the end of the shoot he brought up Thumbtack, because that's how we connected. We started talking about how good they could be for photographers, but since the changes they've made over the past several years, it just seems like they've gone kind of downhill. Now, with that being said, I've been transparent on my last video with updates on the clients that I've received through Thumbtack in Los Angeles and how that has boosted my income this year, and it actually really helped me out. The biggest takeaway is that being niched down on Thumbtack to architectural and real estate photography, having a slick profile and great reviews, maybe mixed with my personality, has given me an edge. The times that I've been hired have resulted in having long-term clients that give me several homes per year. They leave good reviews, they build my portfolio, and some of them have even spread the word about me, which is amazing. What you want out of a service like Thumbtack. It's valuable, but definitely not guaranteed, and it varies greatly from person to person, business to business. This is just some of the work that I've done from Thumbtack this year. Anyways, after chatting with the photographer, I decided to go home and log into my Thumbtack because it's been pretty quiet for me the past month, and I wonder, is it the holidays? What is it? Guess what? My account was deactivated. No word from Thumbtack, no idea why. Dunzo. I've been building it for 7 years. Had people giving me reviews on Thumbtack. It showed up in the Google search results, and now it's been deactivated for God knows how long. It was taken from me in an instant. Afterwards, I sent 5+ emails, no response. Tried to get on the phone, waited 20 minutes for a phone call, no response. Start texting with them. Almost 48 hours later, they get back to me. Turns out, some account that's not associated with me was linked to me, and they didn't pay their bill, so I was punished. Here's the text message proof. Thankfully, as of today, the account is back up. So they did make it right, but it felt like I almost lost the whole account for something that wasn't even my fault, and it wasn't communicated to me what the issue was. With that being said, I thought this was the perfect example of why it's important to have multiple irons in the fire and never depend on one company. Let's talk alternatives to Thumbtack. What's going on? My name is Cole Connor. I'm an artist and entrepreneur, and I was put here to do two things: create and inspire. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. Now, some of these alternatives could be for any type of business that you're in. I am a photographer, so this does lean towards photography work, and it might not correlate 100% to your business, just letting you know, but maybe it'll give you some ideas. With any business that you have, I'm going to say this before I go into it, just Google alternatives to Thumbtack, and there are tons of home service businesses especially that, there are tons of sites like that help people like you. So maybe just Google that if you want some outside of photography specific places to go to find leads. I'm not here to waste your time, so I'm going to run through some of these. I'm not advocating for the first group that I'm about to mention to you. The only ones I've really used myself, I've actually paid leads for, is Thumbtack and Bark. And Bark sucks, in my opinion. You have to buy almost $100 worth of whatever they call it, coins or something, to even get a lead, and I've submitted for 6 or 7 leads, and I've gotten nothing so far, so I've wasted almost $100, and it just the way they have it set up, it feels like sketch and doesn't feel legit. I'm not saying it's not legit, maybe you have great success on Bark, but for me, it did not work. I just don't think people realize for Thumbtack and Bark, when they submit to get work done, there's all these people paying just for their lead to go, just to get that lead. I think that it needs to be more clear on both Thumbtack and Bark's side that there are professionals paying, and maybe people would be more legitimate. Maybe they wouldn't, but maybe they would be more legitimate about the services they're asking for. Briefly, when to buy leads. I just want to talk for 1 second about this because it's easy to, when your pipeline is empty and you're not getting work, to just go to these companies and want to buy leads, but that's kind of like the worst time because you don't have a lot of money and you're kind of probably in a stressed state and you're spending money maybe that you don't have. So I'm only just saying as a friendly warning, because I've gone down this rabbit hole myself, is just because your pipeline is empty doesn't mean that's the best way to try to gain clients. Ideally, you always leave something like this on, and maybe you're just pickier with the leads that you want to accept when you're busy, and then when you're slower, maybe you lower your price or whatever it is. But just be careful, that's all I'm saying. Be careful, don't waste all your money when you don't have it, that's all I'm saying. Outside of Thumbtack and Bark, there's TaskRabbit. Now, I did sign up for TaskRabbit. It seems more like a side hustle type thing, but if you are cleaning or things like that, it might be a good idea for you. And maybe someone's just paying hourly, but that could be a great way to build relationships and build up your portfolio in a sense. Next one is Angie. I've heard kind of bad things about Angie, but maybe it works for you. You can check it out. It used to be Angie's List. And of course, there's Craigslist. It's another option. Always be careful if you're using something like Craigslist. It has a sketchy reputation, but could work for you. Who knows? And then the other options are Fiverr and Upwork. You can put your services on there. It's not paying for leads. I have put my services on there before. I did not find much success with it. I have hired people from there before, though. I think especially if you're a photographer, and this is where I'm going to kind of go more towards photo video. If you're a photographer, videographer, it could be a great avenue to start building up clients. You might not get exactly what you want in the beginning, but I have heard of a lot of people who are successful on Fiverr and Upwork. If you build out your portfolio on there, you make yourself look as professional as possible, it's doable. I believe Fiverr takes 20% and Upwork you have to pay to submit to leads. So it's paying for leads. So Upwork is kind of like you have to pay for leads. I did submit a couple proposals and I almost did get some jobs from it, but I overall just didn't like it, and I didn't really trust how legitimate these people were. And even if they were legitimate, their budget just wasn't really there. It's like the cheap people go on Fiverr and Upwork and these places, including Thumbtack. I do think with Thumbtack you have more of an opportunity to find people with money, in my experience at least. Okay, now outside of that, so yes, you can pay for those leads, you can do Thumbtack and stuff like that, but what are some other ways that you can get work specifically as a photographer, videographer when the pipeline is empty? This is what you really want. To keep my pipeline of work always full, where I haven't had to, after moving to Los Angeles in, let's just say September of 2021, I pretty much ran out of my savings, started having to do side hustles like Uber Eats and Rover, and using Thumbtack a lot. Since March of 2022, I haven't had to Uber Eats or do any of that side hustle stuff. I've only been surviving from photo video. So I have just a little bit of real life proof here that the reason I've been able to do that and not have to Uber Eats since March is because I'm working with legitimately 6 other companies outside of my own. Yes, 6. This allows me to have work even when my business is slow, build relationships with other businesses and photographers, and build my portfolio. Every company that I work with has found me either online, like through Instagram or YouTube, or through Indeed. And that's the first thing I want to talk about is Indeed. Now, if you don't know Indeed, I feel like I used to look at Indeed to get regular types of jobs. When I was like 21, 22, like corporate types of jobs. They have all different types of jobs that people are offering. So if you're interested in part-time or full-time work, you could put your resume up. You can put that you're a video editor or photographer, etc. But what I've found is there's a lot of people looking for freelance photo video people on Indeed. So I have a setting on Indeed where all these jobs come through to my email, specifically real estate photo video, because I know typically if there's a real estate photo video job, I'm getting the job no matter what it is because my portfolio is pretty solid at this point. 4 of the 6 companies I work with found me through Indeed. So highly recommend you check that out no matter what city you're in. It's always popping up Indeed. That's how you can get work. If you're photo video, specifically in the film world, you can check out ShareGrid. They are always needing people to help with like drone or on sets, especially in Los Angeles, probably in big cities. So that's one that's helpful. I've never actually I don't think I've even submitted for a job on there or emailed anyone, but I have seen some pretty interesting, intriguing job offers come through that are just freelance based. So ShareGrid. Another one is Creatively. This is more part-time, full-time positions, but there's a lot of creative jobs that, you know, if you're really slow and you need something part-time or even full-time, that could be the move for you. So, I mean, there's no knock on it. If you got to get a job, you got to get a job. And maybe it'll take you to where you're supposed to be. So Creatively, that's another one. Google My Business. I just want to say this. I've talked about this a lot, but Google My Business has been one of the #1 things that have helped to grow my photo video business in 3 different cities. If you launch your photo video business or any business on Google My Business, it puts an actual location on the map, and when people are Googling whatever it is, whatever kind of service you offer, you are more likely to pop up in the search results if you have a Google My Business listing. People can leave reviews, you can put photos, videos up, you can link to your website. Very, very important. Last thing is, I really think this is any business too. Connect with your competition. I've met with 2 competitors out here. Met them through different ways, but one of them hires me consistently and one of them hasn't hired me yet, but we've talked about working together on a couple things. Don't be afraid of your competition. Usually there's more than enough work to go around, and if you work with people who are busier than you, then when they're too busy, guess who they want to hire? They want to hire you. Or the other way around, if you get too busy, then you can have someone come and help. And it's not about stealing each other's clients or anything like that. There should be no fear or anything like that. If you build a positive relationship with someone, then it's just about helping each other grow. And as either one of you gets busy, you can help each other, vice versa. Don't be afraid to connect with your competition. All right, guys and gals, that's it. Those are my alternatives to Thumbtack. Hopefully Thumbtack will still be successful for me. I don't know. Maybe that I'm like shadow banned now for no reason. Who knows? But right now I'm activated. I'm back at it. I still think it can be good for some people, but hopefully they keep making changes that benefit the professionals and not are to our detriment. Anyways, my name is Cole. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I'll catch you next time. Thanks.
Every day I wake up with a vision, cooking in the kitchen, ain't no fucking in a mission, like yo. Shaking up your city with my bitchin', sold in the building, and the motherfucker fishing, like whoa. Cold won't stop till they get that gold, cold won't stop till you sing my song.